welcome to today's video. I'm going to be playing around with Sgraffito, which is a method of scratching into paint to reveal the layer below. I'm going to do some samples in my sketchbook, and then I'm going to do some sketchbook development, some little abstract pieces, and I also take a really lovely walk down onto a windswept beach to gather some mark making inspiration. So I really hope you enjoy today's video. So I just draw out some 3" by 3" squares. They're really roughly done, and I put a layer of acrylic paint over them, and then I let that dry, and you could use a hairdryer to dry that off if you want to speed up the process. And then I come back in with another colour of acrylic and put it over the top, and while that paint's still wet I use either an old pen or the end of a screwdriver, or you can use other implements. You might have things in the kitchen you could use, or other art materials, or the end of a paintbrush, and I start to scrape patterns into the paint, and it's really as simple as that. And I just experiment, and I do lots and lots of little colour samples, and I have fun. I just wanted to show you these samples quickly. So those are the pink ones that were scratched into with a fine pen on the browny red background in a chevron sort of pattern with the screwdriver, small screwdriver. That was the pink straight out of the tube, and then that was one that I'd added a bit more white in to make it a little bit more opaque, and that one for me is more successful. I don't know, I'm loving this colour range. I love this, really enjoying this. I don't know whether I love the one where I scrape the green over it as much. Swirly whirly pattern. There's just something about the colour combinations and the thickness of the paint on those ones that I'm enjoying. So all those little samples I started making with this Sgraffito scratching technique, I just chopped them up on my guillotine, and kind of my neat freak bit kicked in, and I felt the need to make them all neat and present them pretty to show you, and actually quite enjoying this little book. So those are some of the ones I made. Chevron patterns, scratching in with the pen, scratching in with the end of the screwdriver, scratching tree patterns in. These are some other ones that I made. I played around with some other colours to just do sort of swirls with the pen, and different size pens, some thin ones, thicker ones. It was just kind of fun to play with the colours, and then playing around with complementary colours a little bit as well, so like these ones. Last night, a really quick play where I just started scratching into some bushes and putting some paint on top, and then scratching in to produce the leaf patterns, scratching into the trunk. I'm not loving it. I'm not loving the color combination. Sort of doing it in a bit of a rush, and I wasn't really concentrating as hard as I could on my mixing of colors, or just sort of grabbing at things, because I was doing it rather rapidly, but that's okay. I just started to make a whole load more bigger samples. I used a retarding medium because with the small samples it's kind of quite easy to scratch in while the paint's still wet, but on the bigger samples acrylic paint dries so quickly that I needed to dry down the slowing time, so I added the retarding medium in. Obviously, if you had something like golden open paints, they've got a slow drying time, so you could use those, although they're wonderful, but they're quite expensive. So if you want to break the bank, started to make a fish shape, started cutting it out, then decided nah. And I'm kind of feeling more drawn towards doing something abstracted. I'm already starting to just arrange a few of these little squares. So I made all these sheets of samples. I started sort of cutting them up. I had kind of been quite random about it. I don't want to overthink it, but I've got all these little bits of shapes and sizes of the different patterns. And I'm just starting to do a little bit of collage, which is very enjoyable. I'm enjoying the sort of colour combinations. So I carried on with these samples, and then I started to stick these other shapes on. I like these curved shapes. I quite often do this sort of curved shape when I'm printing, so something about them made me want to stick them into these samples. So I'll show you these. I've just been playing around and just trying lots of different colour combinations, really enjoying it and loving it. And then I went into my old bag of collage papers and started adding. So these are ink scraped across white paper, and these are some jelly printed bits and some bits of bamboo paper that I found, and I quite liked the combination of that. And then I just got like so carried away and I started making all these papers. Just trying out lots of different sort of colour combinations. I do like a bit of fluorescent pink, so I got a bit carried away with the fluorescent pink. But in some contrasting ones, some purples, purple with reds, cadmium red with white, and then with a pinky shade over the top. Some fish shapes. So yeah, you can see I've got carried away, and I've still got some bits of paper left from the collage I was doing before, so I'm going to see if I can make a whole load more with these and see how these colour combinations come out. So I'm on the beach. It's 8th of June, something like that. Blooming freezing. Oh, the British weather. We think we've had our 2 days of summer. You never know, we might get one more, might get lucky and have 3 days this year in the UK. So I just want to show you these other couple of sketchbook pages. I've shown you that one before. These were some other ones that I played around with, and I did just try to look at a few of the textures on the beach as inspiration. Obviously there's wave patterns, got my random barnacles, perhaps not so much on the beach, but it's just a piece of paper I found that I'd put marks on that I quite liked. You know, random pebble patterns, the grasses on the beach, some marks on the sand, some slightly more uniform bits of kind of seaweedy little particles on the beach. That's fine, you know, stripy, oh god, my brain, stripy windbreaks, that's the word I'm looking for. And then I really like these pages, again, yeah, stripes, slight, oh my goodness, I can't talk today, slight surfboard shapes and pebble shapes, but with lines scratched into them again, the seaweeds laying on the beach, barnacles, some pebbles. So it's very kind of loosely abstracted, but I enjoyed it, and I will show you a painting or the beginnings of a painting that I've done from these, but I'm particularly loving these pages. I love the colours. Thank you so much for joining me today. The weather is beautiful down here in Cornwall at the moment. I'm definitely going to have to go back on the beach later and have a swim. But I just wanted to show you where I got up to with this one. I put some acrylic layers down first, and then I put oil on top, and I've scraped into it using the Sgraffito method. It's just an experiment. I just wanted to see how it came out. It's not finished yet. I will show you in another video. I just got to wait for the oil paint to dry before I can do the next layers, but I'm quite happy with it so far, and it's kind of just nice to see it scaled up. And although I still kind of really like the collage paper ones, the smaller ones, but anyway, it's fun to do it on a bigger scale in a different medium. So I will show you that finished in another video, but please do like, subscribe and press the notification button if you do like my videos and if you like some more content. But for today, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.